Hey, Dave Fannin here with Body Form Personal Training Fitness Boot Camps. 3 biggest fat loss mistakes I see. And I see a lot of people. And they come in to see me because what they've tried in the past just didn't work. And that's okay. But these are common mistakes that can be fixed with 1 or 2 small, little, easy fixes. And I can help you with that. So what are the 3 most common fat loss mistakes that I see that come in front of me? And they're literally, terminal to your results. So when people are looking to lose weight, get into shape, tone up. Number 1, cardio is the best for weight loss. I hear it over and over. I just don't have time for cardio. I just can't get into the gym. I hate cardio. Or I was in college and I lost like 20 pounds and I said, well, how did you do that? And they go, well, I was on the elliptical. I had like hours and hours a day. So, I was just in school and I just took care of myself. I didn't have kids or a husband or a job. And I would be in there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, just like on the elliptical and the treadmill. And I lost it. And I said, well, when did you? Oh, as soon as I got a job and got out of college, I didn't have time for that. So the second scenario is you're at a party and Uncle Fred, who doesn't believe in personal trainers, tells you, yeah, I jogged it off. I rode the elliptical for hours. That's all I did. I just did a lot of cardio. I ran it off. Why can't these other people be as disciplined as I was? Well, Uncle Fred, let me ask you this. Did you change anything about your diet? Oh, well, hell yeah, everything. It's not the cardio. It was the diet. So here's the key. If you're looking to get leaner, smaller, toned, and feel better, and be able to keep that weight off in a minimum amount of time, you got to have some resistance training. You got to lift some weights, and that can be body weight too. But resistance training with a combination of a good, solid, clean diet, best results. Cardio is not the best method for fat loss. It's resistance training, and when you're trying to wean yourself off of cardio, which, if you're doing it, and I have a lot of girls that come in and see me and they go, you know what, I can't run. I go, that's cool. Most of my girls don't run either. And it doesn't matter because you don't have to run to lose body fat. You don't have to do cardio to lose body fat. You can do it with a solid resistance training program and a pretty solid diet. We're not talking about perfect. We're talking about just improved. So resistance training is how you lose body fat, get toned, and feel better. And we used to see it back in the 80s and early 90s before we really wrapped our head around it, because we have so many girls come into the gym. And this was when I just did gyms. I wasn't training clients yet. And they'd be like, I want to get toned up and feel better. And the treadmill is not going to get you toned up. And you're not going to lose any body fat. I mean, you might lose some muscle, but you're not going to look fit. You're going to look kind of skinny fat. And that's not a good look at all, especially since we know what it is now. And as soon as we start getting more girls into the weight room, which can be intimidating unless you have a coach or you're working with other people, as soon as we start giving them lift weights, they start getting leaner, smaller, a little bit more definition, felt better, and it's easier to keep the body fat off with resistance training. You just feel better. So that's the key. Resistance training is the most direct route to weight loss and fat loss and getting leaner and toned. It's not the cardio. Cardio is a bad idea. And if you do have to wean yourself off of cardio, if you just mentally can't not do it, you can do interval training. We suggest spin. Or if you enjoy it, keep doing it. But don't expect the weight loss to come from that. It's going to come from the resistance training and improving your diet. That's the key. So, number 1, cardio is best for weight loss? No. Resistance training with a improved diet. That's key. Number 2, I can out-exercise my diet, and I see it with boot campers all the time. They just want to try. I'd like to try to just work out this first month and not make any changes to my diet. So we do numbers on the first day. And then 4 weeks later, when we remeasure them, and there's absolutely no change whatsoever, and I say, hey, this isn't really, you busted your ass for like 4 weeks, 3 times a week, and really threw it down. But I'm not really seeing any change on the scale or, in the numbers. And they're like, well, I didn't change anything about my diet. And that's okay, because now they've learned. And then over the next 4 weeks, just making some small improvements. I didn't say eat less. I said eat better. They start seeing results. And how do you eat better? A very easy, simple cheat sheet that I have is 100 Best Foods. It's basically whole foods. 100 Best Foods, put it on your refrigerator, use it as your grocery list. You can download it above or below this video. When you're eating off that list, it's really hard to screw up because the standard American diet, or the SAD diet, which looks something like you get up, you might have a bowl of cereal or nothing. It's a lean cuisine. You're eating goldfish for convenience if you got kids. Diet Coke. It has 0 calories. Starbucks. It's convenient. I have an addiction. And you're eating out a lot and not even thinking about it. And you're drinking 2 to 3 times per week. That's the standard American diet, and you see what it got us. But if you're different, you're eating not less, but different and better, and the majority of your nutrition comes from eggs, oatmeal, chicken, sweet potatoes, green vegetables, a bag of apples, lean meat, tuna, water, and tea. You're going to have a different outcome, and usually pretty rapidly. And you need those small wins to keep the momentum. That's why we really encourage people to make 1 or 2 small changes to their diet when they come in and start working with me, because nutrition has to be easy so you can follow it. It has to be effective so you actually get some small wins in the beginning, and that helps you with momentum, especially that critical first 4 to 6 weeks, and it has to be sustainable. We don't do short-term diets. We only help you with healthy eating habits and long-term, where you're improving your diet that can carry you through the next 10, 20, 30 years. And that's the key. You cannot outrun a jelly donut. People try it all the time. It's just too easy to take in more calories than you would ever burn off. The exercise helps on a very subconscious level, and the research has backed it up. Why do we do exercise? One, there's so many physical and mental advantages and outcomes from it that it can't be ignored. And it tends to improve nutrition on a subconscious level. How many times have you been working out and you say, you know what, when I'm working out, I just eat better? It's not just you. It's common. It's so common that they can prove it in the lab and through research. When you exercise on a consistent basis, it's a keystone habit, and it carries over to, you'll tend to eat less junk food, you make better grades, people tend to have higher quality of work, they have better social interactions, they take more action towards their goals. There's no downside. That's why the nutrition and the exercise are combined. The exercise helps you with the nutrition. The nutrition is the key to the weight loss, and that it's 85%. 15% will come from exercise. I've never had a client get results without eating better. Notice I didn't say less. Eating better. And if you want to know how to eat better, download that 100 Best Foods list. Eat the vast majority of your calories off that list. You'll start seeing results very quickly in the mirror, on the scale, in your clothes. You'll just feel better. Mistake number 3, I should be able to do it on my own. And I did a video just the other day about this. And it's wrong thinking. And I don't know where it comes from, but someday I'll figure it out, or somebody's going to put it in front of me. Where does that come from? That you can change your physiology, you can change your habits, you can change the entire way that you eat, what you do every day, and pick up a habit on your own. Because you've really never accomplished anything, and no one ever in the history of humanity has ever accomplished anything on their own. They've always had support. Even if you didn't see it, it was somewhere. When you are growing up, you got to think about this. Why would you be able to start exercising and change your physiology and lose weight and change your eating habits on your own when, as you're growing up, you go to school in front of an expert in the subject and your teachers, and you're with your peers and a group, and you're all like-minded towards the same goal. And then when you get into college, you have a professor, and you tend to go to class together with your peers that are very much like-minded and similar to you, where you're at in your life, and with a common goal. And you tend to study, not alone, but in small groups. You tend to get better results that way than when you do it on your own. And then when you get into your job, you tend to work in teams, groups, you have a mentor. And if you have a mentor, you tend to do that one-on-one training, and you just move right through your career faster, and you don't hit those pitfalls. Because kind of like if you've ever been given a sales job and they just kind of threw you out there, they gave you a manual and they said, you got to figure it out on your own, sink or swim. They all sink, because you got to have some guidance, you got to have some support, you got to have a coach and or a group to keep yourself on track long enough that you can start building that that new habit becomes your habit. And doing it on your own is not normal, and it's not common, and that's why we work in small groups. And you got to have a coach to kind of guide you through that, have some accountability, because the only time that I've seen where people go, well, I kind of did it on my own, and I say, well, when was it? And they'll say, well, I was like 20, and I was in college, and I wasn't married, and I didn't have any kids, and actually me and a girlfriend went. And so they had a training partner, they just don't really think about it. They didn't have anything else to do. So they didn't have all these other things pulling them in different directions. And when you're a busy professional, male or female, in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, you have a lot of moving parts in every day. And the last thing that you can add in there is how to figure it out on your own. When it's easier to just show up, do the work, get the results. 30 minutes, you're done, 2 to 3 times per week, all kinds of benefits. Doing it on your own is a recipe for disaster. I see it over and over. You got to have a coach. You got to be around the like-minded people. You'll just see results faster. And the research backs that up too. One-on-one, on your own, when you're working with a group, your perceived output, how hard am I working? Your perceived output will be lower than your actual output when you're working with a group as opposed to when you're working on your own. You just get more work done in less time, and you don't feel like it's that hard. And that's key, because that's where we started seeing better results 8, 9 years ago when we started working in small groups. We did away with the one-on-one because we just saw better results more quickly, and people were having a better time. And that's the key. Have a good time, show up, consistency, because you're not going to go somewhere if it's not fun. That's why it works. Because you go out to the gym and you're like all by yourself. That sucks. You walk on a treadmill. You might even lift weights by yourself. That sucks. So get around like-minded people. It'll help keep you on track long enough that you can start seeing some results, and those small wins will help you keep on track long term. So those are the 3 biggest fat loss mistakes I see. Is number 1, cardio is best for weight loss. Now, we can get away with none. And if you enjoy it, we can work it in. That's the key. You're not going to see the results, but it's okay. If you enjoy it, that's what's key. 2, you can out-exercise your diet. Not going to happen. 85% of fat loss results comes from nutrition, 15% comes from exercise. 3, I can do it on my own. If anyone has ever been able to do it, it would prove the rule. It's so rare that it actually proves the rule that you need some support. You need to be around like-minded people. Best to get in front of an expert so they can kind of guide you through those minefields, get you to your results quicker, and that's how we do it. If you're looking to get some results, you can private message me. If you're stuck, you can private message me and we can work your way through it. And if you like this video, like it, share it, comment below. I'm Dave Fano with the Body Firm Personal Training, Fitness Bootcamps. Don't make these 3 biggest fat loss mistakes. You can do this. Avoid those. It'll get you on the track to success. Hope you guys have a great day.